very weird when you enter a room and then it's just women everywhere. So to the 2 or 3 gentlemen at the back, thank you very much. Now I feel safe. Good afternoon again, everyone. And Buki, good job for putting this together just to encourage everybody. I know it's been a long day, and I hear that the program is packed, that a lot needs to be done within an hour. And so we're going to try to move with jet speed, just see how much we can cover in 20 minutes. To be honest, I was, Jumoke, I saw you were trying to rush. It is very hard to unpack nutrition in 15 minutes. And so what I was hoping to have us do today is, maybe this is supposed to be an eye-opener and sort of start up the spark, and so we can blow it up after the when you start a small fire, right? So you think it's just little there, and then it's now our responsibility to go fan it up after the event so that the true intention and the objective isn't lost. Otherwise, it will just be another talk show where we just come, we while away time, and that's it, and nothing is built. And I'm really hoping that doesn't happen, because after now is where the show really happens. After now, right? What have we learned, and how can we make use of those things? So I'm supposed to be talking about fitness and relating it to nutrition. Obviously, like I said, 20 minutes is never enough. I'm hoping that by the time we're done, in a few minutes, everybody here should be able to say, this is my next step. If we're not able to achieve that, then really, there's no use being here. There must be something. There must be something. Now, first of all, our fitness is largely our personal responsibility. Look, no matter how rich you are, you can't delegate it. So Adio is here. He's my friend, my colleague, he's my EA. I can delegate as much as I can. I can't delegate my fitness. Multiply the amount of money you have times 100. It's not going to work. It's a personal responsibility. And if that is the case, and also remember as well that it's something we have to carry with us all through, it now means that we have to pay a lot more attention. The reason why we can work is because we're fine. My personal trainer 2 days ago, I didn't even know he had ulcer. So I think he had an ulcer attack. The guy he was in the hospital for 2 days. That's a personal trainer. That is supposed to be a fitness, people that eat fitness. That's just to tell you that the body is so valuable, so technical, and it works every day till we're gone. Think about that for a moment. Every time, it's working. And so if you don't take a few steps back and say, look, how do we engage this machine? Then we may be not as responsible. And I'm hoping that discipline is something that we imbibe, because it is something that each and every one of us must do. And if we really follow the right path, then we embrace it and we carry it along the way, every day of our lives, okay? I know very well that there's the look good, feel good side of fitness. In fact, that's the one that is most common. So our ladies, want to look trim, want to look, everybody likes that, right? The leaner, trimmer version of us is what each and every one of us like. So, but then again, while I don't want to downplay this because it's important, I also don't want to take away from the bigger picture. The bigger picture is the fact that there is a lot of health and life benefits beyond looking good and feeling good. A lot. In fact, if I'm to estimate, I would say maybe more than 100x. What's of looking good and looking very figure eight, and you're not strong, and you were talking about premature deaths, right? So over 70% of deaths are not even communicable diseases, they're non-communicable. Think about that, premature deaths. And the leading cause of these is physical activity, harmful lifestyles, the kind of diet we take. Okay? So, if that's the case, and we now know that there is a lot that has to do with fitness beyond looking good, you see the guy is looking buff, he's looking this and that, which is okay, by the way, then it means that we have to take some steps back and really reevaluate some things. So, first of all, what are some of the key factors when it comes to fitness? There's so many, but because of time, I'll be talking about just 3. So the first is physical activity. Physical activity. Physical activity is so crucial. So there's something called muscle atrophy, right? So the body is so smart. It's so smart that the body is so smart that you can train it. Have you realized that if you ever started to do a particular exercise, the first time you did it, you were not as good, right? You probably could not run. Then you try, then after, the first month, second month, then you can do somewhere around, if our research would say, by the time you go by your 3rd month, you can do 25% more than you did the first time. Some people, you can go as high as 100% because you can actually train the body to be strong. In fact, the only known way that the body can be strong is through physical training. Think about it. There's no drug you can take that once you swallow it, your body those are supplements. Supplements will not do the job. They can only aid it. So the only known way for the body to be strong is through physical activity, nothing else. Research has not found out one thing that we can do. And that's why there's muscle atrophy, meaning that if somebody was bedridden, for instance, and they don't move their body for a few weeks leading to a few months, the muscles actually waste away. And if that person was to start working again, they can't. Because the body is trained. So when you are physically active, what you're telling your body is, I need you to recruit more muscles, right, for me to be able to do this. And then the brain understands that, sends signals to the body, and then the body is able to produce more tissues to enable us to do those physical activities. That's one, in terms of factors that will enable us to be physically fit. The second, after physical activity, is what we eat. I started by saying there's the look good, feel good, and then there's the how we carry ourselves all through our lives, right? Unfortunately, we can't just eat anything. Unfortunately. And I like what Jumoke said. When you eat food, right, the first thing about how does it taste, right? We're all brought up that way. We eat for pleasure. And nobody's saying we shouldn't eat for pleasure, but there are now ways in which we can do it, enjoy it, and it nourishes us and helps us to live a fulfilling life. The third is age. Of course, as we grow, naturally, strength will decrease, naturally. But there's a research that says that when you are 40 and above, you lose somewhere around 1% of your muscle mass every year. These things are when we used to hear those things about 40, we used to think it was very far. Guys, do this. Let everybody do this. Do this. Like very tight. Your tightest. Tightest. So research says that once you're 50, you lose that tightness, 2.2% of it every year. So you can't grip this hard. Why do you think our grandpas are frail? It's typical. As we grow, naturally. But with us and with the kind of training we're getting now, we're saying, look, we can age strong. And we are the first beneficiary of this. I hope you know. If you age strong, you're the first beneficiary. Then your spouse, then your kids, then your family. If you've had to ever treat any of our, older ones, the bills are crazy. So maybe it's even enriching your bank account and pays you to be strong and age strong. So there's a small video, maybe about 2 minutes or so. I'm watching my time. Don't worry. If you guys can put it up, that would be great. Just this afternoon, I was thinking about some people who had crossed 80. And I know that it's common that you see people who are 60 now and they are looking like they are 90. It's so common. 65, 70. It's almost like once you're at that age, you're not supposed to be active anymore, right? If you can find the video, fine. Otherwise, I'll just continue. But the key thing is, with these three factors that we mentioned, physical activity, well-planned, nutrition, well-planned, and considering that as we grow, we need to be more tailored in the things that we do, a lot of people are defying that, and they can grow very strong. That does not mean that you're 90 and you're going to be like a 30-year-old. But I can bet we've seen people who are 90 and things that a 45-year-old cannot do, they're still doing.
And today I want to talk to you
that's
about
half their age.
Nutrition.
And that's why I wanted to show you that video.
And
but nonetheless,
key
thing is this. Three things
when I talk about
that we
this
mentioned,
subject,
obviously there are more than three.
Go a little
but you see,
bit
you can't
into
change
the
age,
biology
unfortunately.
of lifespan.
But the first two we can control.
And there's a fact that I want you
activity.
to kind of wrap your arms.
We can control what we eat. This session is supposed to put something in us that takes us back to say, look guys, after now, how do we get interested? We can't discuss nutrition and training in 20 minutes. But can the interest start from today? That's actually a key thing. When I was thinking about the best way to, convey this message, I thought about what might be the next step. And the first next step I thought about was be active. Some of us are already active. Thumbs up. If you are not active at all, you have to be. It's a small decision, but it goes a very long way. In fact, WHO was saying that any physical activity is better than no physical activity. Any. So some people are waiting for a time. When they will have all the time, then they will go and do. Just start. Even if it means walking, if it means jogging, if it means first decision.
Once you reach age 60.
So I graduated it because all of us are not on the same, yes. Maybe the second would be efficiently active. Being active is better than not being active. So when you cross to the first hurdle, then you want to be efficiently active. And being efficiently active is speaking to now doing this in a way that is very structured. How do I mean? There must be a goal. And don't get me wrong, if you have not even started being active, maybe start with that first. At least do something, right? Being efficiently active will mean there's a smart goal. So, for instance, many of us here, it might just be weight loss, right? If there were guys in the room, it might be, oh, I want to add some muscle, right? Over here, I'm sure that's not a very common thing. For some of us, it's like, I'm already okay the way I am. I just want to maintain it, right? Those are goals. Then the next thing is under being efficiently active. Okay, so what are you about to play it? Okay, does he have volume? Okay, when you guys are ready, just tell us, let us know because I'm really watching time. So other being efficiently active, there must be a goal. There must be structured training. Remember, I didn't say exercise, I said training. So you are seeing it as I'm training my body. You see what I'm saying? Now let me give you an example. If it was just being active, maybe I'll walk. If I want to be efficiently active, I will not just walk. Research has shown that I have to do resistance training. I have to lift weights. You know why? You see that grip I talked about? If you keep walking and you're not physically active to the point of resistance training, that's what happens to those kind of people. They start to lose their grip. You see what I'm saying? When it comes to strength training, I'm training everywhere because I know that I'm going to be getting older. And at some point, we're going to be frail. So, see where I started from. Be active. Next is be efficiently active. Another being efficiently active, you need to have a goal. There must be a structured training. And third is there must be a nutrition plan. There has to be. And this thing does not have to be complex. I think because knowledge is not so much there, is why it appears complex. It can be so easy. And I think one of the things that we should try to do, and maybe Buki, this might be a thing to do as a follow-up, is to make these things so easy. Because when we talk about training, nutrition, we just lose some people. Go like, oh God, man, these guys have come with this hunger strike again. To be honest, it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. What is the real problem is that the knowledge is so little. If you can make the knowledge so common, you can engage in an active nutrition plan that does not make you feel like you're slaving away. Okay? And of course, still under being efficiently active would be, let me just go through my notes very quickly, would be, so I've mentioned having the goal, we have mentioned training smart, we have mentioned nutrition. I think those are just the three for now. Those are just three for now. So let's go back. What would be a key takeaway from here? Number one, be active. If you are not active at all, look, do you know when you came into this program, you were younger than you are now. So the moment you walk out that door, you're an older person. It's unfortunate. Really. And if you're already active, then be efficiently active. There's one thing I forgot to mention, and that is, maybe that should have been the first before being active, is the interest. You see, if the interest is not there, the willingness might be there, but then the willpower to carry it on won't be there. We have to just develop that interest. Why? Because nobody's immune. Nobody. Everybody will face the same circumstances of aging and living life. Every one of us, regardless of our work. Okay? Now, let's get practical a bit, just before I go. So let's assume that, because Jumoke talked about nutrition, and someone's saying, look, I want to lose weight, and that's what I really want to do, right? Can we make it simpler? First of all, do you even know how you gain the weight? Because the concept of gaining weight is the same concept of losing weight. So the body is like a machine, it's like your car, right? If the car is supposed to move from here to VI, let's assume that typically on a day, if it's supposed to do that trip, it's going to need 10 liters. I'm just saying, okay? If the car gets to 10 liters, and that's the max, and you keep pouring it, the fuel will fall down, correct? With the body, it doesn't quite fall down. If the body requires a certain amount of energy, that's what in fitness term they call calories, right? Let's assume the body needs 2,000 calories. That 2,000 is like 2,000 liters of fuel. And you feed it 3,000, the extra 1,000 will be saved under the skin as fat. So over time, on a daily basis, that continues to accumulate. The reverse is for weight loss. If the body requires somewhere around 2,000, and you feed it with just 1.5, the difference of the 500, the body must pick from somewhere. So it goes back to the fat cells and utilizes that as energy for that day to make up. So if you're on a deficit of 500 on day 1, 500 on day 2, 500 on day 3, over the month, the body keeps picking from the fat cells. Okay? It's ready? Okay. Thank you. So it keeps picking from the fat cells. Okay? And that's how weight loss is done. Now, I just explained it in a way that appears so simple. Please, don't buy a pill. That someone says, once you swallow this, everything balances. Right? Because the knowledge is still so not available. There's no pill. Some things can increase. Let me give you an example. If you go to the gym and you work out, or you play tennis, or you play whatever it is you play, if your body is supposed to consume 2,000 calories a day, normally, because you are training, your body requires more, right? So maybe your body now requires 2,005. So it means that the demand of the body in that day is more. That's what training does to you. Training makes your body to demand more. And it's also making your body to be strong. So instead of demanding 2,000, my body is now demanding 2,005. But remember, I'm feeding it with 1.5. So before now, I would have had a deficit of 500, but now I have a deficit of what? 1,000. So it means that my weight loss is even faster. We can plan this, and Buki, maybe that can be, I think this is an eye-opener first, and then we can plan this, for future. But they said the video is ready. Let's have a look.
Once you reach age 30, you begin to lose, but once you reach age 60, and today I want to talk to you about nutrition and being a senior. When I talk about this subject, you've got to go a little bit into the biology of lifespan. And there's a fact that I want you to kind of wrap your arms around. And that fact is this. Once you reach age 30, you begin to lose lean muscle mass. Now, between age 30 and 60, that loss of muscle is fairly mild. But once you reach age 60, the loss of lean muscle mass begins to accelerate. The ultimate end of this process is you become frail, you lose your independence, you're not able to perform the tasks that you've been able to perform for your entire life. You can't bring your groceries in from the car. Once you've got the groceries in, you can't put them away. You may not be able to make your own bed. You may not even be able to go to the bathroom by yourself. You lose the idea of control over yourself and the concept of independence. This has got a lot of consequences, but we're not all doomed to this.
I'm bringing sexy back. Them other girls don't know how to.
Is 82. The lady you saw is 81. I only found them this afternoon because something just told me that if we didn't have something to drive this home, I'm not sure that these next steps will be taken. So in closing, I would say there has to be a very strong level of interest. Look, everybody wants to be like this when they are 80. Nobody's close to this age yet, at least in the room, right? We all want that, but it starts from now. I remember, like I said, when we walked into the room, we were younger. So that clock just keeps ticking, unfortunately, right? So the interest matters a lot, and when the interest is there, we'll be able to find the right answers. Let me give you an example. Someone is wondering, oh, this nutrition thing, it just looks very hard. Well, guess what? The information is there. It's because we're not so much interested. There are learning resources that can help us. There's something on the screen that I showed you, I'm not sure if it's there. If your food was fried, so if you had fried potatoes, for instance, right? The amount of energy in that is 365 calories. But if I boiled it, it was just 118. It's 3 times less. So there has to be a fair balance, especially when interest is there. Everything just becomes a bit easier. The next is we have to commit to deliberately now being active, number 2. Number 3 is it's good to engage in communities because it's a lifelong thing. So make it interesting for ourselves. You have friends, right? Join communities around you to ensure that fitness is a thing that we enjoy and not endure. I think a lot more people now, if you compare now to 2015 when we started, there's that fitness culture is now there where people are loving it, unlike before, right? So now it becomes a thing. It becomes, a habit. It becomes something you look forward to. It has to be that for all of us. And of course, the very final would be for us to please take charge. It is our responsibility. We must take charge. So thank you very much, everyone, for having me. I'm not sure I did 20 minutes, but nonetheless, if I did more than that, please forgive me. Thank you very much and see you next time.